What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Little. Big Nick the Quick with me as always. You already know it is a Tuesday, so No Catch Up is back online. We got to recap the All-Star game. I got to get Nick's takes on what do people expect? I don't really know. I don't know what people expect from the NBA All-Star game. They want these dudes to have a full-fledged NBA hoops game. I don't understand. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about the dunk contest. McClung, shout out our guy, Daniel Poneman, who reps McClung as a Chicago guy. So we're everywhere. You already know. And then we'll talk about this NFL quarterback situation. We'll also talk about the back half of the NBA. There's some futures. Who's really going to make a push? We could touch on Jokic if Big Nick the Quick wants to do that. But then we'll go over to the NFL, talk that NFL quarterback situation. The Jets have an opening. Derek Carr. Aaron Rodgers is I don't know if he's still in dark mode, but we got a couple other things to talk about with the NFL. No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. Let's get to it.
Man, look at Mossy. Really? Oh, so that's how you're going to play it. You going to do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that. And it became personal with me.
Big Nick the Quick, what's good?
How we feeling?
You already know.
President's Day Tuesday.
President's Day Tuesday. We back. It's Monday, but it's Tuesday, you know?
Yeah, for real. It is Monday. I was in St. Louis all weekend for a volleyball tournament, man. So I just got back yesterday.
Big business, bro. When we need to open up a volleyball
dog, I'm telling hey, listen, man. No bullshit.
That's where the bread is at.
This youth sports is where the money's at. Tell me about it. Like
that's where the bread is at.
You want to talk about money pits, nothing like this youth sports. Forget about it, bro. They can just tell you something costs something. You have no idea what to compare it to. Just like whatever. Send you an email for more money is money, bro. It's big business. It's not like when I was talking about this a lot of the parents this weekend. Like you remember when we played for like the Park District League or whatever. Yeah. You play for your school league. Maybe, we had Skokie Indians. You probably had whatever, like different things. AYSO for the soccer.
Sure.
Maybe some type of like travel basketball team if you were really into it, but it was mainly like local shit. Dog, yep. We have trips. We have 2 trips to St. Louis. We've already been to Milwaukee. We got a trip to Orlando. We got a trip to Louisville. I was talking to this person from another team. They got 12 out of town trips. Like, dog, and I don't know if y'all been looking at hotels and flights and gas and all stuff like this recently, but man, I'm telling you, bro, like the place we're staying in Louisville, they want $250 a night.
In Louisville.
$250 a night. Dog, like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. See, okay, so you know what's funny is I feel you, and that's tough. And I was thinking about going down to Miami for a couple of days because I'm off a bunch with the All-Star week, All-Star game being off. I'm doing no Action Network NBA talk. I'm off from MSG. I was like, man, I should go down to Miami and just lay on the beach and just get some sun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to get a hotel on the beach, bro?
What do they want?
Gee, forget about it, bro. Forget it, dude. 500-600 minimum.
Yeah, it's not
minimum
for
like a shanty, bro. What are we talking about?
Remember that 600 they quote you doesn't include the fees, the hospitality fee. 600 is 750.
Yo, low key, there's this hotel down there. I've only stayed at once. It's the nicest hotel I've ever, probably in South Beach. It's called One Hotel South Beach or One Hotel Miami, something like that. Bro, they want like $1,300 a night.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, man,
mortgage.
What? What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So,
it's crazy.
But yeah. I feel it. Me and Nick, before we hopped on, we were talking about. It used to be you couldn't walk out the crib for less than 100. It's looking like it's literally legitly pushing like 500.
Yeah, for real.
You step out the crib, you spending 500. Especially if you got your lady with you.
Yeah.
You got your lady with you?
Yeah.
Pack it up.
The casual dinner option, if you get a drink, she gets a drink, is $120. That's the casual dinner option. Mm-hmm. That's the like, we're not going anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like forget the steakhouse. Forget the seafood.
Facts.
Forget the new hot spot in town. Like you're easily pushing $200-$300 over there to get a couple glasses of wine. Like the casual dining is like $120. You know what I mean? Like if you and I were to go get a burger and a drink, that shit would hit us for $115. You know what I mean? Like it's getting crazy out here. Like we're getting taxed to the moon.
Easy. Yeah, we getting killed out here.
But we're not. But we're not making any. We're not making any more money.
But we gonna make it happen. Yeah. Have you seen that TikTok trend? I don't know how I did it, but I made it happen.
Nah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now.
That's all I've been saying to shit. Like, how you do that? Like, I don't know how I did it, but I
Man.
made it happen. Like, just make it happen, man. That's just what it is.
You got to figure it out, man.
You got to figure it out.
They're getting over on us right now.
Speaking of figuring things out, let's talk about the NBA and the NBA All-Star Weekend. Before we get into people groaning and being upset about the game, let's talk about Salt Lake City 2023. What'd you think of the overall production? Yo, so one of our favorite things me and Nick the Click do offline is when we're watching these events, we like to critique everything.
Yeah.
The production, people singing the national anthem, why this person singing the national anthem, the warm-up fits, the everything.
Yeah.
And we have fun with it. It's always a good time. How did you feel about the overall weekend in Salt Lake, the production, the how it was presented, it being in Salt Lake, the whole thing?
Yeah, so I mean, first off, I'll talk about it being in Salt Lake. I've told people before, like, Salt Lake is a beautiful city. It's a great place to go visit and cool out for a couple of days. Park City, if you get up into the mountains, is
Park
gorgeous.
City's cool.
Take your lady, take your family, like, go up there, chill. Like, especially if you live in a major city, like, getting out there to that type of nature, that type of color and all that, like, it's crazy. It's one of the best trips I've ever taken. It is not an all-star destination. Like, we talked about this last week on the show. You should really rotate. You should really rotate. I really believe that as far as like major sporting events and different, spectacles like this should only rotate between 5 to 6 cities. We talked about it, right?
Yeah, we talked about
Miami. We said New Orleans. We said what else? We had a couple cities. I forget.
LA. It's LA, Miami,
New
Phoenix,
Orleans, Atlanta, Phoenix. Yeah. The cities where you could pretty much drop me there, I'm good to go. You know what I mean? Like Salt Lake City is it's not set up for drinking. Like drinking and partying and, you know what I'm saying, flying in the tingers.
But what about the people that say that? Is that what your life revolves around, Nick?
At All-Star Weekend, yes.
That's actually a good point.
So, yeah, I mean, that is All-Star Weekend.
Bro,
that's the thing.
We're here to party and have a good time.
Yeah, and it's not just about like drinking and being wasted in the street, but it's having options, having late night restaurant options, like different shit like that. Like you fly in on Thursday, you don't get in until 11:30. You want to be able to find something to eat. There's only so many cities. You travel a lot. There's only so many cities where that's the case. We're fortunate. You live in New York. I'm in Chicago. We're fortunate to live in areas where like we can find a bite to eat. I know you can find a bite to eat at any hour. I can find a bite to eat at most hours, but you land into some of these cities, you touch down, bro, it's crickets, like it's dead. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. As far as the presentation, I thought it was cool. Nothing like over the top, a little bit too much Karl Malone for me, but it's all good. I didn't have any problems with it, man. I really liked the All-Star draft. I thought that, like, and I know we'll get into the game a little bit more, but again, outside of the action, like they got to try to make it as fun as they can. They got to try new stuff. And I appreciate them for trying stuff like the draft, for making a bigger production out of that. You kind of get to see these guys chill a little bit more. They humanize them a bit. So I thought that was cool. Overall, it was cool. I wouldn't have wanted to be there though. And I think that they were really, it was a disadvantage that it was the direct week after the Super Bowl. Cause like motherfuckers was either going to Arizona or going to Salt Lake. And it's kind of like,
yeah, it's tough. It was a lot. It'd be a lot.
It's a lot. That's 2 trips out west, Like
I know a couple of people that went back to back, and that's
tough.
There's a lot going on. This is exactly what I like the All-Star Weekend. The Burner Boy at halftime I thought was amazing and intense. That was dope. Then of course the dunk contest was fun.
Yeah,
bringing McClung in the fold was fun. The 3-point contest, I love what they're doing with that. I love the money ball rack. I love the new Starry that long used to be, I think, a Mountain Dew ball, but like the deeper three. I like the structure of the 3-point. I like the structure of the rising stars, the G League guys and the rookie dudes, and I like
celebrity game is always fun.
Yo, I know we can find some celebrities that can hoop even a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Where are they finding these dudes?
Yo,
it's almost like they're finding the people that can hoop the least, and they're putting these dudes in the celebrity game. What's going on, bro?
Do you remember MTV used to have that shit? Was it called Jock? No, Jock Jams was the tape, was the CD. What was that shit? Like Bill Bellamy used to do it. Like they'd have these celebrities. They play baseball. They'd play basketball. It was on MTV back. Rock and Jock.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You need the Rock and Jock type situation because like You actually had people in there that could
that
play.
can actually play ball.
Yeah, could
like,
actually
what
play
are we
ball.
talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
But overall fun. Like, it's a fun
just
event. Like, yeah, what are
it
you
is
looking
what it
for?
is.
What are
Yeah,
you looking
like
for, man? Like, even the guys not doing the dunk contest, like, I get it, but like, how long are we gonna bang this drum? It's not gonna happen. Those guys that you want to
Listen.
see show up to do the dunk contest, they're not gonna do it.
you know what's funny about that is I actually think the opposite. Everybody thinks that we should have the superstars in there to do the dunk contest. I'm good.
Yeah.
Let guys like Mac McClung or nobodies that are actual leapers and can flush
Truly
get an opportunity to do it. I don't care where you get them from.
Yeah.
Get them from the G League, get them from wherever. If they're a part of the NBA sphere, they can participate in the dunk contest. Go get them.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's how I feel about it because that was a lot of fun.
People are all nostalgic about like the Jordan versus Neek and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that day's over.
That's dope.
It's dope for sure.
It was dope, but like, yeah, they LeBron. The whole LeBron thing, I saw a couple tweets saying like, yo, LeBron killed the dunk contest because he essentially made it okay for superstars not to do it. And yeah, people kind of did follow his footsteps in that.
Never did it.
Just because he just never did it and wasn't interested in doing it.
He told us.
I wonder what the real reason is for not wanting to do it. Just embarrassing yourself, I guess.
I don't know, man. Maybe he just.
It has to be that. It has to be like, yo, LeBron. It's just like.
So do you think LeBron would have done it? It would have opened the floodgates.
There's just no upside to LeBron doing it. I guess.
Who was the last like superstar? I wish we have to go back through the rosters, but like, who was the last like super duper star to actually participate? Now that I'm probably Dwight, right?
Yeah,
like,
Dwight.
Dwight was in there. Like Dwight was doing it. Yeah.
Yo, you know, I completely forgot DeMar DeRozan was in the dunk contest.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah,
I'm looking it up right now. But yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I think a lot of that again, yeah, it's nostalgia for the back in the day type situation, but it's a new game now. Like I was happy with Mac McClung because a guy like Mac McClung, you know what Mac McClung's been doing the last 3-4 weeks? Practicing these dunks. That's why he comes out and flushes 4 on his first attempt. You know what I mean? LeBron's not in there practicing dunks. You know what I mean? Paul George, whoever, I don't even know why I said Paul George, but any of these guys in there, Zion, they're not in there practicing dunks. So you want a guy like McClung. You want some of these unknown guys. I think who was it? Jeremy Evans won it a few years ago. He had never played. You know, he got a bunch of these G League type guys with crazy ups. Like I want to see the leapers, man. I want to see the mixtape type dudes. So I got no problem with it. Plus, I remember Mac McClung from back in the high school days. He was like one of those high school YouTube star type dudes, man. So dude has always been able to leap like that. So I thought it was cool. And shout out Mac McClung, man. He made a little bit of money for himself. Like,
yeah,
good for
facts,
him, bro. Like,
facts.
LeBron doesn't need that 100,000. Like that 100,000 means something to Mac McClung. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no
the
doubt.
McClung family's gonna eat well off that for a few months. So shout out Mac
Facts.
McClung, man. I thought it was dope. And you get stars in the 3-point contest. You always have.
Yeah.
That's never gone away. So I think it's good, man. You get good participation.
2008, Dwight, Gerald Green, Jamario Moon.
Shout out Gerald Green.
Rudy Gay. That's 2008. So DeMar DeRozan was in 2010. Blake won in 2011.
Blake was a superstar.
Yeah. Blake was a superstar.
Blake doing it then would have been the equivalent of like Zion doing it right now. Like young, superstar, explosive guy you want to see in there.
Yeah, but that's about it.
And then it kind of died,
like,
right?
2012, 2013. There's no real superstars on the list. 2015 is Zach LaVine, Oladipo.
That's pre-Zach LaVine.
But that's pre-Zach LaVine. But yeah, like 2017 is Glenn Robinson, Derek Jones. Oh, 2018 had Donovan Mitchell who won. So he's a
which is crazy because when I think of Donovan Mitchell, I don't think of like yoke on you type guy. I mean, obviously he's a bucket.
Yeah, the crazy. Yeah. He got crazy lift though.
No, he does. Though.
He's a little dude too.
For sure. But I just don't. I don't think of him like that. But yeah, that's crazy. It was Donovan Mitchell.
So,
but even then, you don't have your like. And now obviously Mitchell's an A-lister.
Yeah.
But then like whatever, he was an up and coming guy. I think you get those up and coming, but you're never gonna have a true A-list guy in their prime. I think outside of like
people want to see like LeBron, Ja.
Yeah.
This is not gonna happen.
Ja's too crispy. Ja's too crispy on a Saturday night to participate in the dunk contest, man. That delays the sauce. He can't do that.
All right, so let's talk about the game because the game was shit.
Always.
A couple years ago, we had the Kobe structure actually made the game a lot of fun. Like where it was like, hey, you got to get to a certain point number. That kind of just already ratcheted it up. And that's how it was in Chicago, which is one of the best games of all time.
Yep.
How would you fix the game? What do you do? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander said, yo, if you want to make it more you want to make people show up a little bit more, add a little more money to the pot. And that's always the answer to everything. You don't think that's the answer?
It's not. You can't add enough money to make all these guys all of a sudden like perk up and play real basketball. I mean, you might be able to add a little bit more of the money to the pot. And it
You
might
don't
make
think
guys
if everybody had a mil on the line, a little $15 million
for each player?
For each player, winner take all?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that though.
What is 15?
That's a lot of
$15 million.
That's
$15
million. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for the NBA.
I think that's a lot of money for the All-Star game.
You don't think they could get Sprite to put up $15 million?
If they really wanted to make it crazy competitive, but even then, like dudes aren't getting hurt.
That's the issue.
Dudes aren't getting hurt in the middle of the This isn't even the middle. This is the final stretch. You're going in like the last 25 games for a lot of these teams.
That's
like,
the problem.
Some of these guys, I'm like, yo, if I'm Tatum, I'm not out there getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
I think that's the problem. It'll never matter. It'll never matter enough for guys to go out there and get hurt, especially in this era of load management. Guys don't want to play for the games that they're paid for. Guys don't want to play in the 82.
Yeah.
So you're not getting them to play in an exhibition like that. I think here's what it is. With that way that it's set up with that extra 24 thing, if the game is close going into the fourth, you're going to have a game. If it's like this game was and it's a 20-point game going in the fourth, it's not possible. They're not going to go on a 44-20 run. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen that way. So when I saw that in the fourth quarter, it was that big of a gap, I'm like, oh, is this going to be bullshit?
Well, you also need leadership from the big boys on the teams that are actually like, all right, like, let's go ahead and actually try to go out and win this. If for
the first 3 quarters, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, either way, even if it's because you could close a 10, 12-point gap. Like that's
well, you saw at the end, it did kind of get competitive. Once they closed it a little bit, like, folks started getting back on D. Like at the end, when winning is an option, guys aren't going to try to lose. But when it's like not even close, they're not going for it like that. So I think if you went into the fourth, right, and it was 180 to 178 or something, it's like, okay, cool. It's like a race to 24 points. Guys are going to play real quick. But I think when it wasn't competitive, it's just like if you're on Team Giannis or whatever, it's like, man, we got to score 45 points. Like I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? So I think it is what it is.
I would love to see. You know what I would love to see? Give me the one-on-one tournament.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. We already know that.
Why?
You want to talk about embarrassment? You think guys are scared to do the dunk contest? Nobody's getting beat one-on-one.
You put some money up there. That's one where you could put some money up top on like a round robin type situation, and it could be a lot of fun.
You should pay-per-view that joint.
People are buying that.
Call Dana. Be like, hey, set it up. ESPN Plus. How do you get this going? You know what I'm saying? Like that would be something. But guys, come on, man. Guys aren't going to do that because the internet. You're getting cooked. The second you get crossed over and land on your ass, they're getting cooked. Over with. Forget about it. Finito.
It's
just like when Jordan when LeBron got yoked on and Nike out here scrubbing footage. Like,
they did. Shout out Jordan Crawford.
Shout out Jordan. You remember that? Yeah, they were trying to. Nike was trying to get the footage. Like, hey, who leaked this type shit?
Bro, if you got whoever's listening, you don't know what we're talking about. Jordan Crawford. LeBron James had a camp. Jordan Crawford came to the camp. LeBron played in a pickup.
When he was at Xavier, too. I think he was still in college.
He was at Xavier. Jordan Crawford caught LeBron at the rim and punched on him. Video leaks.
Phil Knight.
And it comes out that the footage disappears. The footage of LeBron getting dunked on gets erased from history and disappears. They were asking Jordan Crawford about it. They were asking LeBron about it. Go look that up if you don't know.
The footage doesn't exist. Like it's
the
gone.
footage is gone. So but I don't know. That would be interesting. That'd be fun. But I guess it is a saving face type of thing, man. Because
guys aren't getting beat one-on-one, man. Because then you start ending the arguments of who's better than who. You know what I mean? You start.
he
Whooped
cooked his ass in the All-Star game.
Right. And you see him. Yeah, come on, he dropped his ass, bro. He beat him 21-16. He's trash. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit becomes very pride. They can't handle that. They're not set up to handle that. They're not set up to handle that. Yeah, I would like to see the guys who would actually want to do it, but it would be a lot of up and comers, and people are going to say the same shit. It's like, oh, I don't want to watch fucking Colin Sexton versus Sexton would 100% sign up for that. but I don't want to watch Sexton versus, I don't know, give me another guy. Sexton versus Clarkson. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would get.
Yeah.
I would want to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching anything one-on-one.
Yeah, I watch Sexton.
I'm watching any one-on-one.
Yeah, give me whoever.
Yeah,
but the general public's not going for that. So I don't think the answer is ever going to be from star participation. It needs to be with them trying to rework the format. You see them add the 24-second. You see them do the draft. Yeah,
I saw Kobe said, people want to see the best pickup game in the world, and he said it's just the timing of it. He said, like in the summer, you get like pickup games at UCLA that are 10x more competitive than the All-Star game, right? But the issue is it's not in the middle of the season, and we don't have a title to go get. Mm-hmm. People are gearing up for the season to start, not playing in the middle of the season. So
yeah, it's not what it is, man. It's a fun weekend, man. It's to celebrate the NBA.
Yeah, I think that's
what's
really
going on in the league. Apparently, it's to give LeBron another celebration too for breaking the record. How many more over/under on LeBron celebrations left this season?
Why is this bothering you so much?
It's not that. No, I mean, obviously, it was going to happen at All-Star. The only one that really bothered me was the pregame ceremony after he had already had the 10-minute ceremony in the middle of the game. That one bothered me, where he was like a Laker legend. It's like, dog, I don't because when you think Lakers, you don't think Bron like that. I mean, I know they had to do it, but it was too self-indulgent for me.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm turning on LeBron, bro, and I said I would never do it.
But you are turning on LeBron just a touch.
Yeah. I mean, he's starting to bother me. It's too much. Like I look at him, but I'm not like, it's too much, man. It's too much going on over here.
You think it's just the extracurriculars? We're getting farther and farther away from hoops on the floor.
Yeah, I think he is really like taking his flowers right now and taking it all in. Maybe he knows, like, I'm not winning a championship this year. Maybe I'll never win another one. So I'm just gonna fucking be LeBron. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I think in years
take a couple games off, go to the Super Bowl, come back, do a little thing. Oh, All-Star game. Nah, I'll show up on the day of the game. I'll be there.
Remember we talked about that with Brady this year? Brady was going to Robert Kraft's wedding on Friday. They had a game on Sunday.
Yeah, he was just being Brady.
He was just being Brady. I'm doing my thing. Hey, look, man, I've been locked in for so long. I'm going to unlock for a minute here. I'm LeBron. I'm out here still putting up 30, and we're fucking 20 games back. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? So I think he's decided to do that, which is, that's fine, man, because, look, the guy has been locked in for years. What do we say? 8 straight NBA finals. These are tough things to do, but I do feel like it's gotten to the point where, like, it's just too much. Like, I don't know, man. I guess the LeBron era has gone on so long that it's kind of like, man,
hold on, let me ask you this. So it's like he's disguising basketball and winning as the number one focus, but it's not.
You can't tell me that the winning is the number one focus right now. The shit it's weird.
Yeah.
It's not like, and we talked last week about the throwing the teammates under the bus and that type of shit. Like, I do actually legitimately have a problem with that. I don't like people who are bad teammates, and I feel like he's been kind of, this year, he was a bad teammate. The Russ shit was kind of crazy. Like, they scapegoated Russ. Crazy. And it's like, you asked this man to come here, and then really at every single opportunity lobbied for him to get traded. They didn't make any, they didn't try to hide it. You know what I mean? I feel like they blamed him. And I gave Russ some credit for how he handled it, man. Like, eventually it's like, fuck you. I've always been a good teammate. No one has ever said Westbrook's a bad teammate.
That's true.
Until LA this year. And then as soon as you leave, what happens? You read The Athletic, there's a big, long story about this and all the shit that Russ didn't do. Guys love Russ around the league.
Yeah. That's partly maybe why Anthony Davis was acting the way he was.
Yeah, he's like,
this is a circus.
Guy. This is a circus. This guy's ridiculous. He's going to trade me. What happens? When's he going to want to trade me? Like, for real.
Yeah. So, no, that is interesting because I said this a bunch before that him going to LA, he was before he won the bubble title and broke the record. He was very content with his career. That's where I was at. He was going to LA for purely the second wave of his life.
Absolutely, I got a lot of
his family, production company. Yes. I'm gonna shoot an HBO show every other month.
Big Crib and Brentwood.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, right. It's very
It's awesome.
I agree with you, and and it's kind of like
I'm gonna go be a billionaire in fucking Southern California.
Yes, exactly right.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And I'm gonna go pull up to whatever event I want, and I'll hoop at my leisure.
At my leisure. And guess
Because
what?
I'm still really good at
I'm
hooping.
still going to be the best players in the league. So it's not like the thing that why I'm at odds with it is not like LeBron's out here mailing it in. LeBron's averaging like 30 a game,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? On
Right.
like 34 minutes a night. So it's not like the basketball has suffered, but mentally, you can't tell me his focus is where it was. I mean, we talked about he broke the scoring record and just essentially took the next week and a half off.
Yeah, he took 2 weeks off. Just broke the scoring record and then took two and a half weeks off.
Whatever.
Purely off of I'm just missing the games.
I'm missing the games.
Like not like yeah, he's just
and we got new teammates, but it's like, yeah, no, hey, figure that out. I'll be back. I'll be back after Utah.
No. I'll flat out be back when I come back. I come back. Who knows when that's gonna be?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And who's saying anything to him?
Nobody. No, yeah. So I get it. But let's talk a little bit about the rest of the way because it's about to heat up. Anybody can win the title right now. Currently, Boston's the favorite at plus 280. Milwaukee's plus 430.
Surging Milwaukee.
Now plus 450. So that Milwaukee number has gone down since they've won 12 in a row going into the break. And pulling up 4 is Denver.
What was it prior to the streak? Do you know? 600?
Yeah, it was around that 600, 650 number. Yeah. So
value there in Milwaukee a couple of weeks ago.
How do you feel about, you want to talk about Westbrook going to the Clippers? Does that matter to you?
Yeah, it does.
How do you feel about that? Talk to me about that play.
Kawhi's been begging for a point guard forever. Kawhi has told you a million different ways in Kawhi's way of telling you that he does not want to handle the ball, facilitate, do anything like that. He prefers to play with an actual point guard. Since he's been in LA, they have never put a point guard around him. I think that's a great option for them. I think he fits into their squad. I think he's going to be looking to kind of redeem himself a little bit. He gets to stay in LA, so you don't got to upend the family or anything like that. And again, the Clippers need a point guard. They have no point guard on the roster. And I think Kawhi plays at his best when someone else is
been getting starts.
Yeah, so Kawhi plays at his best when someone else is handling that responsibility. Like Kawhi is not the guy. He's not Luka. You know what I mean? He doesn't look to pound. He's not a usage guy. Like he's usage in the sense he takes a lot of shots, but he's not usage in the sense that like I want to carry the ball up and make all the decisions and all that. Like Kawhi is a very straightforward basketball player.
Kawhi doesn't hold the ball.
He's a very straightforward basketball player. He's good at what he does, and that's what he does, right? And I think, again, like it's always been out there that he's wanted a point guard. He wants to play with a point guard. So if you want to get the best out of this roster, and if you're the Clippers, it's kind of like we got to get something out of these guys this year. I think it's a good move. It's a low-risk move, too. If it doesn't work out, then it just doesn't work out. And you have the same team you had before. But, you know, why not bring him in? You're getting him on a veteran minimum. He's going to come in there. Like I said, he's going to want to work hard. And he's not going to be dealing with that bullshit that you were dealing with in L.A. I'm sorry, with the Lakers, right? The Clippers have their own set of bullshit as far as, like, when's Kawhi going to play? But now we're kind of in that final stretch where he's probably going to start gearing up for the playoffs. I think it's a great move. I love that move, actually. Yeah, I don't know what the Bulls were. If I'm him, I'm not going to Chicago either. What the fuck?
Yeah, no.
To do what?
To do what is right.
To do what? To be cold?
At least I'm going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, his wife was like, we're not going over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. There was the only reason it was never another option. Listen, Russell's another guy where he's the legacy is cemented.
Yeah, he's rich.
Hate him or not. You said he's rich?
He's rich.
Yeah, he's the legacy is cemented. He's got the MVP. We know he averaged triple-double 3 straight seasons. We know the story behind Russ, but he's been bouncing around the last, 6?
You think Russ went to the crib and said, hey, babe, you want to move to Chicago in February?
Yeah, no. It's just not happening. It wasn't happening,
we got 3 kids. Like, no, we're good. I like it here.
I'm just interested to see because we know the issue with Russ. Stop shooting fucking jumpers, right?
Stop it, yeah.
If he facilitates, which he can do, a couple years ago, he was top half of the league in assists. Top, like not top half, like top.
Oh, he's always been, yeah. I mean, he averaged a triple-double 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, so he could dish. I'm just interested to see how it fits. Is he gonna be able to just be the piece? Is he gonna be the guy that just brings the rock up and facilitates? Defers to everyone because he's what on that team? The 4th option, maybe offensively.
Yeah. And that's fine. I think he'll settle into that. I think part of the problem with the Lakers is Westbrook's biggest flaw is his shooting and taking bad shots at bad times that he shouldn't be taking, specifically 3-point shots, right? So why would you put him on a team, and he thinks he can hit him. Why would you put him on a team that is desperate for 3-point shooting and he's going to get a lot of opportunities to shoot those shots? right? It's not like the Lakers had a bunch of other shooters that he's kicking out to.
Yeah, Clippers got shooters.
Yeah, when it's time to shoot threes, Russ was like, oh, this is on me. You know what I mean? Because no one else can
Yeah.
shoot threes. So you kind of put him in a position where he had to do the one thing that he wasn't good at. If you take that off his plate and say, hey, we have shooting, he's still going to shoot bad shots, but he's not going to feel as pressed to. There are other guys there that can make the shots. It was a bad idea to put him on that Lakers team from the very start. You trade away two very good shooters in Kuzma and KCP to bring in a non-shooter when you needed shooting.
Yeah. That's all LeBron's ever needed was shooting.
Shooting. It's simple. Put shooters around LeBron. He handles the rock, and we go from there. It's really stupid. So I think you put him on the Clippers, who, like you said, they have shooting. They have how they want to play. Yeah, they got Norm Powell, the bucket. You know what I mean? They got Paul George. They got Kawhi. I wouldn't call Kawhi a shooter, but Kawhi's a scorer. They're fine. I think it's going to be a great move, man. I like that move. And I've been critical on Russ for years, but I like that move.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it works.
Plus, that team needs a pulse.
No, they coming on. They've been coming on.
No,
lately. Since Kawhi got back. You mean like emotional?
Yeah, like Paul George's not an emotional leader, even when he had his MVP season. My MVP season. You sit on the beanbag chair.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what MVP? What? Where was that?
He said that was my MVP season.
Wait, hold on, shoot. Let me go on Wikipedia real quick. And Kawhi's obviously not an emotional leader. We know that. So Russ is gonna bring that fire for them on certain nights. So yeah, I like it. I love it. I actually love it. I think Russ has something to prove. Russ is gonna ball out for sure.
Clippers currently plus 1,100 to win the NBA championship, plus 500 though to win the West.
Yeah, I think you got some value there.
They're right there. Phoenix the favorite at plus 220. Denver plus 300.
A Denver injury, which again is likely if you look at Denver's roster, they got a lot of guys who like to get hurt at the worst times possible. MPJ and my man Toppy Jamal Murray, especially if he ain't got his serum. You know what I'm saying? Salute. No, that's never been properly explored how that ended up on the stories. Like, why were you even on Instagram with that? But that's the story for another day.
That's a whole other pod.
But yeah, these guys get hurt. So I mean, yeah, you get a couple Denver injuries, and then again in the playoffs when it's all on Jokic's shoulders, that gets tough. So I like that. What was it to win the West?
Plus 500 for the Clippers to win.
That could be worth a sprinkle
over at FanDuel.
When you talk about hunting value, that could be worth a sprinkle.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been calling him the boogeyman. Kawhi, since Kawhi's been back, they've been absolutely balling. So.
Yeah, and you know what that man does when it matters.
Yeah, no question. Any thoughts on Jokic? I mean, it looks like he's going to win 3 MVPs in a row.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think I think Joel should get the MVP. And I'm not even like it's almost one of those things where it's like, man, if this 3-year run for Joel ends in no MVPs, it's kind of crazy. And if you look at it, I think they said it during the All-Star game. He's played in 45 games this year, and 31 of them he scored 30 points or more as a big.
He's nice.
Defensively, and he's not on one side either. Joel is dominant defensively as well. But yeah, I mean, you can't deny Jokic. I think Kyrie coming will probably hurt Luka's chances a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think Luka's in Mexico right now.
Yeah, I told you. Listen, man,
I can't wait to see what he looks like come Thursday or Friday. I don't know when.
What do you think he's doing right now,
Doc? He is eating chips and guac and drinking a margarita and chilling,
drinking Corona heavy,
which he's completely earned. But it's clear, like he has body issues, bro.
He doesn't take care of himself.
He doesn't take care of himself on the body side. It's like it's very clear.
In season doesn't take care of himself.
In season, whatever. It doesn't matter. So that's the outstanding thing for Luka and Dallas. Stay tuned.
So you think Jokic? What are the MVP odds right now? What's the top 3?
I'd have to pull it up, but I'm going to tell you right now, off the top of my head, it's Jokic, Embiid, Giannis.
Oh yeah, Giannis.
And then Luka probably after that.
We're also at that point where you could, you know what though? Like we talk about like what Jokic does for his team, and like if he took him off, if you took Giannis off the Milwaukee Bucks, I question if that team could win 10 games.
They'd be really bad, man.
Really, really bad. It's a bad roster.
We've been talking about that.
Giannis covers up everything, so I think we're at that point where Giannis could honestly be. Jokic is a prohibitive favorite.
Yeah, it's a minus 300.
Minus 240.
Yeah.
You can get plus 600 on Joel, plus 700 on Giannis. Points
Yeah,
bet will
well-
give you plus 1200 on Giannis.
Wow.
Mm.
Well, with the risk thing is now he's
The
going to
risk
miss
thing
like
is there.
he's
Yeah,
probably going to
gonna
miss like 4 or 5 games, right?
Yes, yeah. So
And there's only 20 left.
I think we are at that. Yeah, for me, Giannis is the best player in the league. I think we've established this.
Go ahead and parlay the Jokic, Jaren Jackson Jr. DPOY ticket. That'll get you around plus 130 or so. And
Marcus Smart got it last year, right?
that's your cash. Yeah.
Shout
So-
out Jaren Jackson getting picked last of the reserves.
Triple
He did
J.
it.
Monster though.
Yeah, he's nice.
Monster. All right, let's move over to the NFL. We got 25 minutes here. What's the question, man? We know the deal. Lamar Jackson still doesn't have a deal. We've been contemplating talking Eric Bieniemy. He goes over to the Commanders, which I don't understand, on a deal. And then of course we got the Jets situation with Aaron Rodgers potentially going over there, Derek Carr. I can't believe I still call him his brother's name. But yeah, Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And potentially Jimmy Garoppolo.
Or
There's a lot
David
of
Carr
question
got
marks.
sacked 73 times as a rookie.
Yeah, he never bounced back after that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Never
either.
came back. The Justin Fields talk potentially getting moved. What do you want to
Man.
start with?
Let's talk of the QBs. Let's start with the Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers conundrum because they seem to be tied in together.
Yes. What do you do if you're the Jets? Because that seems to be the team where one of those guys are going to go.
For sure.
Do you wait and potentially miss out on Carr to get a chance at Rodgers? Who would you rather have if you're the Jets?
Oh my God, come on. I mean, you know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers as a human being,
But
as a
he's
quarterback,
essentially he'd be a
1 or
1
2
year
year
guy
guy.
though.
So here's
Carr-
the thing, man.
Carr potentially is 4 or 5 year guy.
He could be, but I don't know if you want 5 years of Derek Carr. I'm waiting for Rodgers, man. And I think the key thing would be this: even if you do miss out on Derek Carr.
Yeah, that's my fault. My
Even
bad.
if
My
you
bad.
do
I put
miss
that
out-
in the atmosphere.
Yeah, you put it in. I can't unsee it now. Even if you do miss out on Derek Carr, you still got a chance to get some of these other quarterbacks. You can still get a Garoppolo. You can still get a Tannehill.
Is that enough?
How much? Well, how much
Tannehill?
better? How much better are these guys than Derek? Look, man, Derek Carr, especially the first half of last year, I thought Derek Carr was great, and I thought overall, not the last season that just passed, but the one prior to that, where they started with Gruden, and I thought he carried them through a lot of shit. Like, we can't understate that his starting wide receiver killed somebody. His coach got fired for racist emails. You know what I mean? And all the other stuff that went over there, right? And Derek Carr led that team through it. I think he's a great leader. Seems like a good guy. Seems like the type of guy you want in your locker room. But as a quarterback, let's not act like he didn't just get shipped out of the Vegas Raiders, right? They sent him packing. So, I mean, let's not act like Derek Carr all of a sudden is like a Pro Bowl top 10 type quarterback. Like, he's good. He's solid. But if you have the chance to get an Aaron Rodgers, you hold on and wait for that. And if you don't get him, you go to the next option. I don't think the difference between Carr and the guys under Carr is that vast, if we're being completely honest. You can look at Garoppolo. They've won a ton of games with Garoppolo. A lot of that might be Shanahan, say what you want to. A lot of that might be that defense, but again, he's a winner. Ryan Tannehill has won a lot of ball games. A lot of that is handing the ball off to Derrick Henry, but he's won a lot of ball games. Like, that stuff matters. I'm not huge on either of those guys, but I don't think Carr.
I'm straight off Tannehill.
I don't think, Tannehill's whatever, but I don't think Carr is like leaps and bounds ahead of these guys. Like, all of a sudden, Derek Carr is going to get you where you need to go, and he's going to be the answer. So yeah, I'm waiting out for Rodgers, man.
David Carr.
I don't think Rodgers is coming back to Green Bay. I don't think Green Bay wants Rodgers to come back. If you're the Packers, you don't want him to come back. I don't think you want to go through this every fucking year.
So then why not say that? Because he's on a contract. You're trying to figure out what you can do.
Yeah, I think they want to figure out what they can do. You don't want to blow all your leverage.
Yeah, that's a fact. All right,
but you know they don't want him back. They don't want him back. They're done with that. How many more off seasons can you do this? It's crazy, man. It's like 3 years now. You gave him his bread last year. You know that the whole thing was about money last year. So you gave him his $50 million. He's doing the same shit again. I can't do it, man. You got a roster you got to develop. You got a young guy you want to throw in there. It's time for the Green Bay Packers to turn the page.
David Carr said Derek Carr's situation in free agency process is going to be long. Yeah. Apparently, he's only looking at Saints, the Raiders, and the Jets. So it sounds like it's only the Saints and the Jets. Hit it off with Robert Saleh. He went, this is, and I quote David Carr, his brother. He went there to get a feel for how they work from top down. Everyone he met, and we knew he would love Robert Saleh. And then David said, "I've known Robert Saleh for a while. He's fantastic." They hit it off.
Say his name like that, Robert Saleh.
Salah, it's my guy. Robert Saleh.
Salah.
Salah. It's like Mo Salah.
Mo Salah.
Salah Liverpool start here in a little bit. He's fantastic. They hit it off, and they would love to work together. So apparently, that look in New York would go well. I just think you can't work on Rodgers' timeline if you're the Jets. I think that's where it's tough. I also don't know, with a young team and a young roster like the Jets that they have, they are super young. Tons of rookies that played really well. They got a young squad. I don't know if Rodgers being the 1 year fill-in is the spot for both sides.
Well,
like Rodgers needs to go to a roster that's solidified, like the Niners or a team that's ready to win now.
They're not trading him to the NFC though.
Yeah.
They're not going to send him to the NFC. There's zero chance he goes to the Niners. I think so. Again, the question, if you're the Jets, that you have to ask yourself is if Aaron Rodgers is going to retire or not. Because if he's not going to retire, he's going to play on your football team. I think the Packers are ready to move on, and they're not trading to the NFC. So if you look at AFC teams, what's the best option? What team, if you placed a quarterback on,
Miami?
Is that much better? Yeah, well, they got a guy.
Go down to who?
Tua.
Nah, Tua. There's too many question marks around Tua, man. I don't know if every time Tua falls down now, bro, it's gonna be hold your breath.
That's my concern with Bryce Young as well. I think
Why,
the Bryce Young and Tua is small too.
Tua was hooping though. He had a bad head injury where they smoked it.
Yeah, but he had body injuries prior to that. He's not a big guy. He's not a big guy.
I don't want to speculate on that, but I just wonder. I don't think that the Jets shouldn't want Rodgers for 1 year, in my opinion. I know that Rodgers is that guy. That's my favorite quarterback of all time.
Are we completely out on Wilson? If they're completely out on Wilson, like completely out, like sitting him for a year, he still can't be the guy in year 4.
Oh,
I think they're out. I think they're out. You live there. Are they out?
It sounds like they're. It seems
all
like
the way out, because you got to be all the way out. Because you could say, "Hey, we get Rodgers for a year, then we throw Zach Wilson back in there. We're good to go."
I think
and obviously the maturity
at
issue.
Least right now.
I think is where it comes from. I don't think Salah fucks with them at all.
He can't play.
Yeah, can't play, and he doesn't take accountability for anything.
He can't play, and then he can't. He has no. I mean, I wish we could go back. I wish I could play how many conversations we had about Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
because it's such a perfect comparison.
He was
Daniel Jones
played hard.
Daniel Jones couldn't play. He never said a fucking word for 4 years in a row.
But we loved him.
Literally couldn't play for 4 years in a row and never said a word out of pocket.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about him
$45
million a year. All right. So, like, that's where we're at.
But I will say, we would always talk about Jones and be like, hey, man, there's something there, though. Like, I kind of like him. He can't throw the ball, but I kind of like him.
Yeah,
he's a great athlete. He's competitive.
He would flash a lot of things, and he would say the right things, and he never said anything. It is crazy
we aren't talking about $45 million a year for Daniel
Now
Jones,
we're talking about 40 plus, $45 million.
They said he wants $45 million a year.
He changed agencies. He said they wasn't talking enough money.
Talking enough money for
Flipped
me.
off CAA and went to players first.
Daniel fucking Jones.
Just want a playoff game on the
road.
road.
Out of here. Yeah, get my money.
Come on, what we talking about? So that's kind of where it's like, man, this dude is failing on the field and off. So that's tough to do. So it seems like he would be out. I don't think Rodgers is a great fit for both sides because they just have such a young squad that they could be competitive here in the AFC for a while. Yeah. Go and get a guy that's going to be there for a while. I feel like Carr is the better fit there, and Rodgers needs to go somewhere where the squad is solidified. So I don't know. It's really interesting.
You don't think that Jets team is solid? I mean, those younger guys are going to.
You get what I'm saying, though?
Better. Yeah, but I don't know where that is in the. Assuming they're not going to trade him to the NFC, where is that in the AFC?
Well, what makes you think they won't move him in the NFC just because they don't want to see him ever again?
Yeah, I think that's some kind of the rumblings. He's not going to the NFC. They're not going to trade him in conference. They don't want to see him ever again.
I think it's interesting because if anybody is going to be like, he's the guy that won't show up to a team he doesn't want to play for. You could pack me up all you want. Pack me up.
Yeah, I don't think he has a problem playing for the Jets.
Yeah,
I think we would know. I think we would know if he didn't want to play for the Jets. He wouldn't. It wouldn't be out there like this that much. I mean, it's like the Jets are bust at this point. They're not even talking about any other teams in the Rodgers. It's all Jets, 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 Jets.
Yeah, man, I don't know, bro. I kind of feel like he's going to be back in Green Bay.
I don't think so. I think they're done. That is something that you're hearing. Is that remember Greeny was talking about it last week. Everybody I talked to said no, they're done. The guy's a fucking weirdo, and you're not winning any game. You're not winning, and it didn't make the playoffs this year. So it's kind of like, dude, we're done, man. Like, let's move on. I wouldn't want him back if I was the Packers. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it's not personal for me, but like I don't want to be around that guy anymore. I don't want to be. What message are you sending to the rest of the team too? It's just like, yeah, let's have Aaron Rodgers. You look powerless as an organization. Like, let this guy hijack our organization every summer for 3 months. He does this every single summer. And we've only won one Super Bowl, and it was fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah, no,
guys acting like Brady.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, let's talk about. You want to talk about Lamar Jackson? Let's talk about Bieniemy first.
Yeah,
because I should actually go get that clip of McCoy. He went crazy on LaShawn McCoy. Essentially said, "Bieniemy, what is he bringing to the table? I don't get what he does. He doesn't do anything. I played for the Chiefs, and Bieniemy this, that, and third, whatever."
Yeah.
Go look that clip up. How do you feel about Bieniemy doing the lateral move? He's going to Washington to be the Commanders' OC. I hate it. I said this 3 years ago on this very podcast that the grass is not always greener.
Yeah.
Stay with Kansas City, make your few $1,000,000 a year, stay under Andy Reid until you get in a position where it's a great opportunity. And if it doesn't come, continue to compete in the AFC with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and that's it. I mean, I'm not Eric Bieniemy, but that's how I was looking at it. Don't leave the best situation in football being a part of the offense for the Kansas City Chiefs to be the head coach of the Texans or to be the offensive coordinator of the Commanders. I don't see the upside in that. That's exactly what he did. How do you feel about the move? Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the reason, I mean, there's reasons that he's not getting a head coaching opportunity, but I guarantee the reason that he's hearing is you don't call plays. We have no history of you as a play caller. We have no history of you being the guy who's in charge of the offense in any type of way. We know it's Andy Reid's show. So by going to the Commanders, he gets to become the play caller. He's an associate head coach. He's involved in the installation. He's involved in the game plan. He's calling plays on Sunday. He's the one that's working exclusively with the offense. So I think if he has his heart set, right? If he has his heart set on being a head coach, if that's his aspiration, he knows, look, I just led the fucking best offense ever for the past 5 years and was involved in the development of the best quarterback ever for the past 5 years, and it still can't get me a job. I got to go somewhere else and prove that I can be a good play caller. So if I go to Washington and we got Heineke or whoever's going to be the quarterback, whoever they draft this year is going to be a quarterback, and I end up doing good stuff with him, I can now go sit down that interview and say, hey, I have called plays on my own, where it's me, the guy. There's no Andy Reid. We know Ron Rivera ain't calling plays. I have developed a quarterback on my own. Again, it's not Andy Reid. And it's not you making the excuse of, well, you drafted a superhuman and anybody could develop that guy. Like I went into a situation where offensively they struggled. I turned around the offense. I had head coaching responsibilities. I had planning responsibilities. I was assistant to Rivera, who's more of kind of like a rah-rah guy at this point anyways. And that's what I was doing. I was running the football show over there. That's it. That's the only way I can see it. Now, for you and I, we might be cool being the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league for the next however long Andy Reid is around, because that's what it would be for Bieniemy. He probably makes $2 million a year as an offensive coordinator, lives a great life, has won a couple Super Bowls, is going to keep winning as long as Patrick Mahomes is in town. We talked about it last week. As long as they have home field advantage, those boys are going to keep winning Super Bowls. So yeah, but if his aspiration to be a head coach, then that's the only way it's going to happen, because it's not going to happen in Kansas City. It just won't. There's zero chance it's going to happen in Kansas City.
So here's my thing. Where's the upside here?
The upside is A, if Ron Rivera retires or gets fired, you step into an interim role. B, if you do a good job, you can actually get a head coaching job that you weren't going to be able to get before. or they'd be forced to
Bro,
tell you
you
the
don't
real
even
reason
have
they're
a
not hiring you.
quarterback. You don't have a quarterback. Like that's what
I'm just
like.
telling.
This is what my thing is like.
So if
For
exactly,
you to
so if I
leave-
can go there and make something out of nothing, I get a job.
Man, nobody's doing that though. Man, we talk about this all the time. Kyle Shanahan makes shit happen on offense because the roster is fucking loaded, dog. I don't care how good of an offensive mind or coordinator you are. If you don't have a roster, it's a wrap. You remember Andy Reid got ran out of town in Philly. He was there for 16 years. He still got ran out of town. He didn't have the roster at the end of the day after McNabb and those guys left.
Yeah,
So
he
for
won
him,
five straight NFC title games or something.
well, yeah,
Under
no,
McNabb,
yeah. I think it was five.
I think it was five,
But after that, it was like,
Yeah.
all right, like this, we got to get up. Like
that was the Kevin Cobb years.
yes, exactly. The Kevin Cobb
Kevin
years,
Cobb
exactly.
got a bag from Arizona, by the way.
And he had Kevin Cobb looking all right.
Kevin Cobb was all right. Shout out Kevin Cobb.
Shout out Kevin Cobb.
Cobb with the L too.
Yo, what is
Elite.
Cobb doing right now? You think
He's got money. He's fine.
chilling? Shout out
He's
Kevin Cobb.
he's probably in Bali with Cliff Kingsbury.
Yo,
Yo, Cliff, you got money from Arizona too?
shout out Kevin
Hey, what
Cobb.
up, boy?
Yo, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Kevin
But
Cobb.
I guess what I'm getting at is, I don't know if the best offense can Andy Reid go make shit happen in Washington with Carson Wentz. Come on, bro. So
That's not the question, though. I think the
okay,
question.
okay, but what I'm saying is that for me, I don't get why Bieniemy would leave a great situation for a piss poor one. That is, the odds are stacked so high against him, in my opinion, that he's trying to make water out of wine over there. It's just not going to happen.
But they
Now-
already are.
Now listen to me. If
What
he-
odds are we talking about, though? Because I think the
What do you
odds
mean?
are all. If you say the odds are stacked against him, right?
Yeah.
But for him, if his number one goal is to become a head coach, then in Kansas City, as crazy as it sounds, the odds are even more stacked against him.
No, I get that. What I'm saying is that for me to leave that situation, he would have to go to a situation offensively that was where he would have a very, I guess it would be a lot easier to succeed than I see him going to walk.
Like
He doesn't have a
Dallas,
quarterback.
like
Dallas,
went to the Dallas
exactly.
situation. Yeah.
Like Dallas is a perfect
Yeah, well-
example. Or go run the offense.
You know Jerry and Brady, no brother to run the fucking
Sure.
offense.
Come
Come on, man, Come on, bro. Hey, let's talk about that. Jerry told you how he thought in 1967 when he was at that rally. They swept that under the rug too. They swept that under the rug real quick. Jerry was at the rally trying to say, "Don't come in our schools."
Come on.
You saw that scene from Forrest Gump. Jerry was up in there.
But even like the Raiders or some, I just don't
But
see.
Josh McDaniels is the play caller. It's the same thing. It's Josh McDaniels
Yes.
is the play caller. That's what
Well,
Josh
well,
McDaniels
that's-
does. He's
well,
actually a better play caller than he's ever been a head coach. He should only be a play caller.
That goes back to the whole thing of you get an offensive head coach because then nobody can pick off the offensive coordinator and make him a head coach, right?
Exactly.
I just don't see I don't see the best offensive mind in the NFL succeeding with Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke on the offensive side of the ball
I don't think
in
Carson-
Washington.
I don't
So
think either of those guys are there next year. But yeah,
it's a really tough. It's just a really tough call. I hope he does well. I hope he continues to cruise. There's something is off about that situation, similar to the situation with Lamar Jackson. It's very clear. It's actually the same thing in my eyes. People don't trust Bieniemy to run their franchise for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. When they sit down and talk to him, or the rumblings around him aren't positive that he can make it happen as a head coach. I think the Ravens feel the same way about Lamar Jackson, and they're not. They have pause on giving him $230 million guaranteed. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's a great segue in to talk about Lamar. Do you think he's done? Is he out of there, or is he gonna get paid from Baltimore?
So I think, man, I don't think they're going to give him the money that he wants. I think if they were going to give him the money that he wants, you'd be hearing more about it. There'd be talks on this deal. I texted the other day. It's crickets. You're hearing about Derek Carr's visits. You're hearing about Aaron Rodgers' blackout retreats. What are you hearing about Lamar and the Ravens? They haven't talked about shit. He just posts shit on social media, weird memes and shit that lets you know how he feels, and then you don't really hear anything from them. If they wanted him to be their guy, he would be their guy. Look at what the Cardinals did with Kyler Murray last summer. After all that weird shit, he asked for a contract. They locked him up immediately, right? Like if you want your guy to be that guy, you would pay him. And I don't think they want to pay him. I also don't know if he'll hold out. Tannenbaum's a clown, but he brought up a great point. There's only one guy who ever really actually held out on that franchise tag, and that was Le'Veon Bell. Everybody else showed up to play. Dak showed up to play.
Yep.
Right? Bunch of guys. I'm blanking on other guys. The only guy who ever really said, I'm not playing under the tag and didn't show up to play was Le'Veon Bell.
There's
right?
only three guys that played on the tag. I just learned that this morning. It was Kurt twice, Dak, and then Drew Brees in 2005.
Yeah.
So most people either figure out a deal. It's very rare for a quarterback to come in on that tag and actually play the full year. It's only happened three different guys 4 times. Yeah. So let's talk about,
and it worked out well for all 3 of them.
Let's talk about some of this gap, because the big question here is how much guaranteed money is going to end up being hit here. So
why should he take less than DeMar DeRozan, Deshaun Watson?
So
that's what he's saying to them. I think that's the only conversation that's happening in there. Why? Again, we're talking about the market being set. The Browns set the market last year for quarterbacks with Deshaun Watson. This is what everybody in the league feared when they gave him $240 million guaranteed, is that going forward, every single guy was going to ask for that. Now you have Daniel Jones asking for $45 million a year guaranteed. You're probably going to have Burrow not signing anything until it's guaranteed, right? Like, so that's kind of the landscape that we're in. So if you're Lamar, you're like, why would I sign the first contract, number one? If I do sign the first of all these guys, why would I give up any guaranteed money? Like, no way. I have an opportunity to get the same deal. If you guys aren't going to give it to me, somebody will. And they don't they not, he can become a free agent, right?
Who?
Lamar. Oh, no, they can exclude, I'm sorry, Daniel
well,
Jones. Daniel Jones can become one because they didn't give him the 5th year thing.
Right, they didn't give him the 5th year, right.
Yeah.
So look, let's talk about some of this guaranteed money. Because right now, that seems to be the sticking point for Lamar Jackson, right? Yep. Number one is the guy Deshaun Watson, $230 million, fully guaranteed. Then we have Kyler Murray at the practical guaranteed number of $189.5 million. That's number 2 all time.
Yeah.
Then we have Russell Wilson at 161. Then we have Aaron Rodgers at 150. And then we have Josh Allen at 150. Yeah. So, of course, Aaron Rodgers took $800,000 more. So, at the time, Josh Allen signed the biggest deal.
Ridiculous.
Josh Allen signed for $150 million guaranteed. Then Aaron Rodgers came and signed for $150.8 million. So he took an extra $800K. Then Russell came at 161. Then Murray came at 189.5. What a deal he got, by the way.
For sure.
That is insane.
That's a lot of money.
So then we have Deshaun Watson at 230. Do you think it's fair to say that should Lamar get more than 230? Or should he say, hey, I got $200 million guaranteed. That's $11 million more than Kyler Murray, who was second in the market right now. Is that enough?
No.
You need more than Deshaun.
I need at or somewhere around Deshaun. I can't have Deshaun. I've won an MVP. I haven't settled
you got to set the market.
Rape allegation.
You got to set the market.
I'm not trying to be funny. Like, yeah, you got to set the market or somewhere around it. It's hard when Deshaun gets that much guaranteed to be like, oh yeah, I'll take $40 million less than Deshaun guaranteed. It's all good. Like, I don't think he's thinking that way. I think he wants to set the market or at least be at that number. That was the problem with the Watson contract. Remember when they signed it? They're like, yo, teams around the league are pissed at the Browns for doing this because you've kind of fucked up the market. They're lucky they got that Murray deal under market. The Bills are lucky they signed Josh Allen when they did. But you're going to see Cincinnati pay for it. You're going to see the Chargers pay for it. If you're Burrow, are you coming in for less than $250 million? Are you serious? If you're Herbert, are you coming in for less than $250 million? So why should Lamar? That's the new number. Figure it out. You guys do what you do. Figure it out. So why? Yeah, no, I don't think he should.
So you wouldn't sign $200 million guarantee if it was on the table. Nope. You would sit out the year.
Yeah, I mean, you got it. Yeah, someone's gonna call someone's bluff. Yeah, I'm committed. It's too much money. I'm committed. Someone will give it to me. Because here's the thing: if I wait another year, then that money goes up higher anyways. Because once Burrow and Herbert sign, what is Joe Burrow going to sign for?
What do you think? Well, what Hurts going to sign for? That's because he's up right now.
Yeah. If I'm Jalen Hurts,
okay, let me ask you this. If you're Jalen Hurts, you need more than Watson?
I absolutely do. I'm a model. I've done everything right. I represent the franchise well. Yeah, I just took you to the Super Bowl.
So basically, you're not taking $1 less than Watson, period, from anybody new.
None of Watson these guys
Watson set the new mark, and y'all fucked up. Cleveland.
Watson showed us it was possible. Watson showed it. I didn't know it was possible before Watson did it.
Cap hit is almost $54 million.
Highest in NFL history. Deshaun showed us it was possible.
I think I'm taking less than 230. I think Cleveland has put themselves in a spectacular situation.
You also got to remember these guys.
I'm gonna take $200 million guaranteed.
Some of these guys that also like this is a big thing. You also low key kind of carry the burden of the future, right? Like you don't want to start setting the precedent of this happens in the NBA all the time. You don't want to start setting that precedent of taking those smaller team friendly deals, and they're like, well, hey, this guy took a team friendly deal. Hey, this guy took it. You know what I mean? Go out and get the most money you can. The league is fine. You see the Amazon deal? They're fine. They'll figure it out one way or another. They're going to get their money. We're the most valuable commodity in sports. You can't sit here and tell us that we are the most valuable commodity in sports and the teams need to do everything they can to get one of us. But then when it's time to pay, it's like, nah. And guess what? If I'm that good, Patrick Mahomes just showed you, and I know we take Mahomes out the conversation, but if I'm Burrow and Herbert, I'm not. I don't talk like that. Patrick Mahomes just showed you can win with the guy taking that much cap space. So y'all figure out, I'm not a GM. I'm a QB.
Sure.
I come in here on Sunday and I throw that thing. Y'all figure out the Monday through Saturday shit. That's not what I'm here for. Y'all figure out the Sunday shit. I'll be there in September or August for camp with a deal. If no deal, I'll see you later. Jalen Hurts, they should all say the same thing. If it was possible to pay $240 million guareed, then they all should get it. What are we talking about here? If I'm Burrow,
just because you also destroy the roster, there's a lot of different factors.
Sure, Patrick Mahomes just won a Super Bowl with Juju Smith-Schuster as his number one wide receiver.
Well, he's the only person that can do
I
that.
understand, but if you're Joe Burrow, you think you're Patrick Mahomes. If you think you're Pat, you told him, I am the window.
He did say that.
I am the window. Don't worry about everything. Don't worry about filling in the blanks. I am the blanks. Pay me. I
am the blanks.
I am the blanks.
I feel it. I think
all that, man.
You can make it work for less than 230 guaranteed. I've said this.
I'm surprised to hear this from you because you are Mr. Get Your Chickens.
No, because dude, you're still getting. But come on, you're still getting your chicken at $200 million.
We need that quote fired. We just have some quotes about get your chickens and take care of your chickens and take
care. Take care of your chickens. Take care of your mental.
Take care of your mental.
Take care of your chickens.
Hey,
take care of your mental.
And your mental's not right if your chickens aren't right. I need all that. I need the whole coop.
Right. All right, that's it for No Catch Up today. We'll catch y'all next time. For Big Nick the Quick, I am your host, Sean Little. Make sure you subscribe, tell the homies, tell a friend, hit the like button, do all that stuff. We'll talk to y'all next week.